The creation of unusual milestones. We narcissists create unusual milestones for the purposes of maintaining our narcissistic grip on our victims. The calendar is festooned with milestones. There are those which are applicable to everybody, for example, a person's birthday. There are others which are applicable to a large proportion of people on the planet: Christmas, Easter Sunday, Valentine's Day, Eid, Nirvana Day, not the band, before you ask, Yom Kippur and Diwali. There are people who celebrate St. Patrick's Day, even on the flimsiest of reasons, and others who mark the Chinese New Year. There are many days of observance or festivals, including Freedom Day, Independence Day, Bonfire Night, Halloween, National Women's Day, the Day of Our Lady of Africa, Remembrance Sunday, and King Jigme Dorji Wangchuk's death anniversary. No, that isn't made up. These days and events are commemorated by people in different parts of the world. These milestones in history are replicated at a more personal level by individuals. For instance, wedding anniversaries, an anniversary based on how long a couple has been together, from a week to a month, then 6 months, and then years, or remembering the anniversary of somebody's death. There is a multiplicity of milestones, which will include it being 10 years since somebody graduated from university, a year since somebody left prison, 5 years since they were made redundant, 6 months since that relationship ended. Some of these milestones are not celebrated, some are briefly remembered, sometimes fondly, and often with concern, relief, or slight surprise at the swift passage of time. People like to commemorate particular milestones. They will record their child's first day at school, and years later tell their son or daughter that on this day 20 years ago you attended nursery or you took your first steps. A veteran may recall with a mixture of regret and optimism that it is 2 years since he took his first steps on prosthetic limbs. Such remembrance and commemoration is done for many different reasons. It might be wild celebration, fond nostalgia, solemn reflection, or upsetting recollection. Notwithstanding what it may be, people accumulate these milestones throughout their lives, either applicable to themselves or others that they are entwined with. We are no exception to this behaviour. We, however, do this for entirely different reasons. We recognise and use the more obvious milestones of birthdays, Christmas, anniversaries, and so on, and I've explained how those are used in birthday blues, for example. Yet this is not enough. We go further than the milestones which the world has created for various people. We make our own. We regularly and repeatedly engage in the creation of unusual milestones. This is done by creating golden milestone and obsidian milestones. The golden milestones are created during our seduction of you. If your birthday falls within our seduction of you, then naturally you'll be treated to marvellous gifts, a wonderful evening or day out, and made to feel ultra special. All part of the idealization, but this birthday is not a milestone created by us. It was already there, and just happened to coincide with the golden period of seduction. A golden milestone is one which is specifically created by us to manifest as something delightful and special in the kingdom of you and me. You can easily spot these golden milestones, as they will range from the romantic to the endearingly silly. Consider, if you will, these examples. I send you a card to tell you that it is a week since we first kissed. I write you a poem to commemorate that it is a year since I fell in love with you, even though we have only been seeing each other 2 weeks. I send you a text to remind you it is one whole terrible hour since we last saw one another. I send you flowers to thank you for filling my life with light and love for the past month. I sent you a gift to mark the fact that we made love 5 times in one night. Viewed dispassionately, these occasions and the fact of commemorating them, are quite simply absurd. However, when deployed with the illusion of the seductive golden period, they appear cute, endearing, amusing, heartwarming, and loving. How much must we be into you if we telephone you to explain that we've been in love with one another for 1.2 million minutes, or that last night was the 100th time you told me that you loved me? Sometimes these milestones are fabricated, but more usually they are actually real, and there are those of our kind who have calculated the number of times that we've kissed, made love, or called you by a pet name. These golden milestones are viewed favourably by our victims, silly and wonderful reminders of how delightful our relationship together is. Monuments to the unique and special coupling that has been occasioned between you and I. From our perspective, whilst they may appear fun, slightly throwaway and romantic, these golden milestones actually serve an important purpose. They enable us to keep binding you to us. They allow us to demonstrate just how infatuated we are with you and to gauge our control over you. They allow us to draw fuel from you, positive fuel occasioned by your laughter at the daft statistic we have just explained to you, or your tear-brimming eyes as you realise just how much thought and effort we have gone to calculate how many times we have been to a particular restaurant which you love. So since we are on the cusp of the 20th visit, we have booked it again this weekend. These golden milestones actually come draped in red flags, because you won't find them in any normal or healthy relationship. Those relationships celebrate the 1 week, the 1 month, and then a year of the relationship's existence, but will not descend into the detail. The detail evidences our obsession with you, how we regard our relationship as one really of statistics, how long we have spent with you, how many times you have said something to us, how many times we have been to a certain place, how often we have done a particular thing together. This is hugely indicative. Notice how it is devoid of actual feeling, but is all based on frequency, content, and quantity. Mechanical. These are capable of calculation, which equates to control. Whilst the creation of golden milestones may be endearingly silly, it is the creation of those obsidian milestones which arise during devaluation which truly show our penchant for being self-absorbed. The purpose of the obsidian milestone is to create our own special event at which we are the special guest, the revered recipient of attention, and, of course, furnished with fuel. The obsidian milestones are breathtaking in their absurdity and triviality from your perspective, and they need to be in order to have the correct impact on you. But of course, we don't see them that way. Consider these. It is the 17-week anniversary since Tiddles the cat died. It was your cat, not ours, and we always hated it. It is 9 years since our mother passed away, meaning we cannot do anything all day long. Some people may be upset on the anniversary of the death of a loved relative, but they do not become paralysed for the day 9 years after the event. And moreover, you know that we didn't get on with our mother and we didn't even attend the funeral. It's the 5-year anniversary of the disappearance of a child, and we weep and wail about it. We do not even know the child or anybody vaguely related to the child. It's a month since our brush with death. A car beeps its horn at us as we stepped out into the road, but it was nowhere near us. We have been in our newly promoted position for 2 months. You bought the champagne when we got promoted, but we expect more acknowledgement and recognition on this 2-month anniversary. It is 25 years since the death of our beloved friend. We've never even mentioned this person before. The creation of this obsidian milestone has various common themes. 1. Notice how they are nothing to do with you or our relationship with you. 2. They will be about something unrelated to you and invariably something to do with us, either our loss or achievement or something we know has achieved lost. 3. The obsidian milestone will often be a complete fabrication. 4. If not a fabrication, it will be premised on not only the most tenuous of connections, but the flimsiest reasons for there to be any commemoration. These obsidian milestones are used for the following reasons. 1. To berate you for being so cold and callous to forget that on this day 18 years ago we lost our job. We scold your lack of recall about an event you either knew nothing about or cannot reasonably expect to be concerned by as a means of asserting control by making you feel bad and drawing negative fuel from you. 2. To bring the attention of you and others onto us, so it gives us fuel. 3. To detract from credible commemorative events of other people. Your 30th birthday celebration coincides with the devastating shed fire, which destroyed our collection of car magazines 10 years ago. 4. To make you feel sorry for us, so we're provided with fuel. 5. To use as excuses not to do certain things. I would come to dinner at your parents' home, but I'm beside myself right now over the anniversary of the death of Bugle the Budgie, who actually never existed. The creation of Obsidian Milestones will not be seen outside of the narcissistic dynamic. They are milestones created to assert control and gain fuel through their sheer absurdity and drama creation, which leaves you bewildered as to why it has impacted on us so much, particularly feeling guilty for not knowing, should have known that today was that particular anniversary, and concerned owing to your empathic state. To ascertain what is wrong, we may not at first actually explain what the Obsidian milestone is, but keep instead you guessing as we wail, cry, sulk, mope around, or look angry. The milestones are primarily used by mid-range narcissists, a few of them by the greater the ultra, not those which are self-pitying or to do with pity plays, as the greater and the ultra don't operate that way. Lessers will use them, but they tend to be fairly rudimentary in nature. But most of the milestones you'll find with mid-range narcissists. Which golden and or obsidian milestones have you experienced in your ensnarement with the narcissist? Let me know in the comments section. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.